Very good morning, students. Welcome to the another session. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about causes of failure of earth dams. There we have seen three different types of failures, like hydraulic failures, and the second one is three different types of failures I've seen: hydraulic failures, as well as seepage failures, and the last one is structural failures. So these are the three different types of failures which we have seen. So first we have already discussed. Now in continuation to the previous lecture, we are going to discuss the first two, the structural failures. So first two are discussed, that is upstream side as well as downstream side slope failures due to the existing pore water pressure. Means while construction is going on, so due to the pore water pressure, the upstream slope as well as downstream slopes may fail. And also the second point is upstream slopes may fail due to sudden drawdown in water. So due to the sudden drop down in water levels without any change in the levels, right? If the water is drawn down suddenly, then upstream slopes may get fail. So these are the 2 points which I have discussed. Now in continuation to that, we are going to discuss now third important type of structural failure is downstream slope slide during the full reservoir condition, right? What is the downstream slope? Downstream slope we will maintain on the both sides. We will maintain some kind of what we can call it as slopes are to be maintained on either sides of the dam, upstream side as well as downstream side. Now first two we have discussed about upstream slope. And now if you see the downstream slope side, what happens under the full reservoir condition? What happens? The toe of the dam may get what we call may fail because of the what we can call it as when the reservoir is full and percolation is at maximum rate. Under these two conditions, the toe of the dam may get eroded. Okay, so the direction of the seepage, so whatever the seepage is there through the dam, through the foundation, the direction of the seepage is always try to decrease the stability of the dam, because the seepage is coming through the one direction and it will disturb the stability of the earth dam. So this seepage has two different effects on sliding of the slopes. Okay, so they are deep slides. So these deep slides are passing through the clay foundations. So whatever the deep slides are there, one of the effect of this downstream slope side under the full reservoir condition. So these deep slides will form through the foundations, clay foundations. Coming to the second type of slide, that is shallow slides. So these shallow slides will extend up to 1 to 2 meters, not more than that. If you see the pictorial view here, you can see the picture is given here. Now in this picture, so this is your dam, earth dam, and these are the upstream as well as downstream slopes. This is your water level. And this is your failure surface. This is your failure surface of the upstream side. Okay, so such kind of deep slides are occurring. This kind of deep slides will occur during a steady seepage. The constant seepage is there from upstream side to downstream side. What you can say is this portion will slide in this direction. Okay, surface failure. Okay, so this is an example of deep sliding during the constant or steady seepage from upstream side to downstream side. It may be through the body of the dam or it may be through the foundation of the dam. Okay, now if you see the next important topic, that is foundation slides, which is also denoted with spontaneous liquefaction. Here, what is the meaning of liquefaction? It is nothing but whatever the soil is there that behaves like a liquid, means it is transformed into a liquid behavior. So that is called as liquefaction. So this liquefaction will occur whenever the soil is completely saturated. When the soil is 100% saturated, then we will get this liquefaction action. Okay, so this liquefaction is, if it is spontaneous, then what happens? The entire foundation may slide. If and only if the dam foundation consists of soft soils. Okay, so if soft soils are fine silt type of material is there on the downstream side, like on the foundation, below the foundation, then foundation and the entire dam will slide on the foundation. So this is very dangerous situation, and this kind of case studies are already noted down throughout the world. Okay, sliding of the dam over when they are constructed on a fine silt as well as soft soils. Okay, so what happens? Why this liquefaction will occur? Why the liquefaction will occur, and also why the foundation will slide? It is because of the expansion of soils on a saturation. Means expansion of soils on saturation may cause unbalanced conditions. Because of these unbalanced condition, causing the foundation failure. It may slide, or it may settle down, or it may collapse. Okay, and nowadays one of the difficult problem which the design engineers of earth dams are facing, that is to analyze the analysis of stability of loose sand foundations. So whenever there are loose sand foundations are available, and how to give factor of safety. Give factor of safety or give stability of loose soil foundations against the possibility of liquefaction. Means how to analyze the liquefaction behavior or possibility of liquefaction behavior for a loose soil, loose sand foundation. So it is a big question to all the design engineers, earth dam design engineers. So nowadays these are the problems facing. Okay, so foundation slides, like because of spontaneous liquefaction. These are the one example is given here, Sheffield Dam. So it is failed because of the foundation slides. So the earthquake caused the liquefaction under the foundation. So whenever the earthquake waves are passing through the foundation and the dam, so this dam is expansion. Soils is occurred and unbalanced conditions are created. So because of this, the dam is sliding under the earthquake forces. Okay, so that is about foundation spontaneous liquefaction, foundation slides. Now next important point is failure by spreading. Failure by spreading. So what is the meaning of the spreading? Why we are studying about spreading? Okay, so here this failure is observed when the fields located above the stratified deposits which contain soft layers or soft soil layers. Okay, so here you can see this is our profile. Okay, so we are planning to construct like this our dam, earth dam. So this amount of portion is to be cutted and this amount of portion is to be filled. Now below the foundation, here you can see there is a different types of layers, soft soil layers are there. Here it is showing silt layers. So these silt layers, what happens whenever after the completion of the dam, whenever the pressure increases or the load increases, so these will settle down. These layers will settle. Means these will spread. Whatever the waves you are seeing here, these will be settled. Means these will be flattened or spread like this. So because of this, there may be a chances of failure in the foundation of the dam. So this is spreading failure by spreading of the foundation. Okay, so many cases are there. Outstanding failures of spreading are Lafayette's in California, Lafayette's Dam, and also Marshall Creek Dam in Kansas, as well as the Hartford Flood Protection Dike in Connecticut. So these are the three different cases seen because of failure by spreading. Failure by spreading. Moving on to the next one. Now, next one is failure due to earthquake. So this is the most common type of failure for all the earth dams. So before 1920, most of these cases are registered. Failure of earth dams because of earthquakes. Okay, so why the earthquakes are damaging the earth dams? Let's see. So whatever the earthquake forces, whenever the earthquake forces are passing through the foundation or through the body of the dam, so here what we can say is these cracks, means whenever the vibrations are passing, so cracks may develop in the core of the dam, like inner portion of the dam, impervious core, right? So if these cracks are formed in the core, then what happens? They will extend the cracks, and also there may be a chances of leakage of water from upstream side to downstream side, because there should not be any allowance through the impervious core. Because of the cracks developed, so there may be a chance of leakage through the impervious core also. Okay. Next point is settlement of the crust due to compression of foundation as well as embankment. So due to the compression of the crust, whatever the top portion is there, due to the compression of that, what happens? Embankment as well as foundation will be settled down a little bit, and also after that what happens? When the height is reduced, when the dam is settled, there may be a chances of overtopping of the water. Okay, so those kind of settlements will cause overtopping of the water. Now the next important point is shaking of the reservoir bottom. Right? If the reservoir bottom is shaking, then what happens? Causes slow waves and fail due to overtopping. So these will cause some kind of waves, shaking of the reservoir bottom, and if the waves are forming heavily, what happens? There may be chances of overtopping of the water. Okay, so that is the third point. Now, sliding of natural hillside. Sliding of natural hillside causes overtopping. Okay, so obviously sliding always causes overtopping. Whenever there is a sliding, there are most of the chances are to overtopping of the water. Okay, now this is about failure due to earthquake. Now next important point is slope protection failures. So what is the meaning of this slope protection failures? See, what we will do, we will give some kind of riprap, what we can call is riprap layers on the surfaces of the upstream as well as downstream slopes. Okay, in order to avoid erosion or in order to protect the upstream face from the different forces like wave forces acting on the upstream side. So these layers are constructed by using boulder layers with some fillings inside. So what happens whenever during heavy rains, what happens? Heavy storms, so the waves on the surface of the reservoir may repeatedly hit the upstream face. So in that particular case, what happens? Whatever the layers, protected layers of the upstream side are there, they may get damaged. Okay, so the energy dissipated on the surface layers only. So in that particular case, the upstream riprap layers will be damaged. Okay, now if you see, whatever this wave energy dissipation is there, which is considered as turbulent action. So this action has two effects. One is the waves may pass through the voids of the riprap. Whenever there is a small riprap layer, small voids are there, so water may enter in that and it may be pulling out the entire inside material. Okay, and the second one is hydraulic forces may wash away small riprap layers. Means sometimes the entire layer may be washed away. So because of the turbulent action of the waves under heavy rainstorms. Okay, so the slope protections also fail because of the waves due to heavy rains. Okay, so whenever they are hitting very hard, at the upstream surface, so these protection layers may be spoiled or may be washed away. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. So here you can see the picture here. So this is our upstream surface. Okay. So this is our upstream surface. So on top of the upstream surface, we have protected this upstream surface with riprap layers. So this riprap layer is there. So here you can see like this, rocks are arranged in the order. Okay. So here this is your reservoir level. It has to be like this. So this one is like this, actual line of riprap layer is like this. So because of the heavy layers continuously touching this side, what happens? So this entire area is removed by the turbulent action of waves, and they are moved and settled here. They are settled down here because the waves are coming here and pulling this to this side. Okay. So this is typical failure of riprap. Now, next important point is failure due to the damage caused by the burrowing pits, burrowing animals. So always these burrowing animals, what happens? They will try to dig holes because of to create the home, or else to pass from one place to another place, or from one river to another river. Okay, so these burrowing pits which are caused by the burrowing animals like muskrats, so what happens? This may cause piping failure, which we have seen in the beginning, like seepage failures. So there, piping and sloughing are the two important failures. So this holes, whatever the burrowing animals, right, these may create piping failures for a small dams. So muskrats, what they will do, muskrats burrow into embankments either to make homes or to dig the passage. So these muskrats are very dangerous, and they may make the dams extreme weak because they may create the inner core may get damaged because of the muskrat creating some holes through the body of the dam. So it may be through the upper layer of the dam, or it may be through the pervious core, means inner core of the dam. Okay, so let us see the picture here. See, muskrat is creating some way here. So from here to here, this muskrat has created a way to make some home. So the distance is about almost 2 to 7 meters for a small dams. Okay, so sometimes what happens? The muskrat may create holes like this. So with respect to this, what happens? A passage is created to tailwater. So if the pressure increases, so while passing the water through this, what happens? Already we have discussed. What is that? Piping failure. So here piping will form, pipe will be formed. So there may be a chances of piping failure. Means water continuously creating some pressure, and this complete upstream portion may get washed away. It may get washed away because of the piping failure. So sloughing or backward action will be created, and this complete portion will be washed away. So these are the holes made by the muskrats. Okay. Now they are the important points, right? Important failures to be considered in the design. Okay, 3 important failures: hydraulic failures, as well as seepage failures, and structural failures. Now let us move on to the one more important topic, that is criteria for safe design of earth dams. Already we have seen so many different failures we have seen. So in order to overcome those failures, which criteria we need to follow? Means each one has different distinct behavior, and each one is causing failure to the dam, earth dam. So how to overcome those problems and how to get a safe design for the earth dams. Okay. So an earth dam must be safe and stable during all the phases of construction and during the operation of the reservoir also. While construction also, stability and safety is very important, because the slopes may fail while construction is going on because of the poor water pressure. Okay. So apart from that, here step-by-step procedure and some important guidelines are given for the criteria for safe design. Now let us get into the criteria for safe design. Now here first point is the embankment must be safe. Whatever the embankment is there, that must be safe against overtopping, and sufficient outlet or spillway should be provided in case of excess or heavy floods are expected. Okay, so these works outlet should be provided in case of a huge flow. Okay, at any cost we have to provide safety to the embankment against overtopping. That is the first and important topic point to be noted for a safe criteria for design. Okay. Now the second point is the dam must be safe. The dam must have sufficient freeboard. So this is also one of the important reasons, because if you see, this is our, let us consider this as our earth dam. Now let us assume this is our water level here. The water level is up to this. So some kind of freeboard is provided at the top. Okay, so if this freeboard is not provided, what we can say is the water level is up to this. Whenever small waves are coming, small wind is coming, there may be a chances of overtopping of the water. So in order to avoid this overtopping of water, the dam should be provided with some sufficient freeboard. That is the second important point for criteria design. Okay. Now moving on to the next point, the seepage line should be well within the downstream to avoid sloughing. So what is the meaning of sloughing? Sloughing action already see, right? So that is sliding or going down. Okay, so this sliding can be avoided whenever the seepage line, whatever the seepage line is there, that should be well within the downstream side. Well within the downstream side. It should not touch the upstream portion, downstream portion. It should be within the, like this. Whatever the portion is there, so that should be like this. Seepage line should be like this. It should not touch the downstream side. It should be well within the downstream side. Okay. Now the next important point is seepage must be controlled by suitable design provisions. We have to take necessary controlling measures to avoid the seepage, because the seepage will create some pore pressure and it will always try to unstabilize the dam. Stability of the dam will not be achieved if the continuous seepage is there from upstream side to downstream side. So we have to provide, we have to take some controlling measures for the seepage, then only the stability of the dam will be provided for earth dam. Okay. Now moving on to the next point. There should be no opportunity for the free passage of water. Means no opportunity, no way should be given for the free passage of water from upstream side to downstream side. Either it may be through the body of the dam or it may be through the foundation of the dam. At no way the water should be going from upstream side to downstream side until and unless a specific outlet is created. That is what our aim should be in the design of earth dam. In no case water should be flowing from upstream side to downstream side. That is the important point to be noted. Okay. The portion, next point, the portion of the downstream of the impervious core should properly be drained. So whatever we are providing here, right, the portion of the downstream side. So this is our downstream portion. So here what happens? So we have to provide some kind of, what we can say, drainage facilities should be provided here. There are different ways of drainage provisions. So we have to provide at the downstream too, we have to provide some drainage facilities. So it has some different adverse effect, right? So pore water pressure may be reduced by providing the downstream side drainage, and also some other benefits are also there. And we can avoid the failure of the toe. Toe failure may be avoided by providing the drainage at the downstream toe. Okay. Now, next important point is slopes should be designed such that they are safe during the construction and immediately after construction. So during the construction also, the embankments or slopes should be maintained properly without any damage, and after the construction also they should be maintained properly. Okay, then only the dam will be stable, otherwise stability cannot be achieved. Okay, next important point is the downstream slope should be designed such that, right, it should be safe against steady seepage under full reservoir condition. We know that under full reservoir condition maximum amount of pressure will be there on the dam, because water always try to seep through the pores. So this will create some extra amount of pore water pressure on the dam. So it must be designed in such a way that it should be safe against full water reservoir level, full water level condition. That is one more important point to be noted. So seepage at any cost we have to control under full reservoir condition levels. Okay. Next important point, the upstream slope should be stable during the drawdown. So already we have seen, see here you can see, suppose the water level is like this. So immediately what happens, let us assume without changing any level in the volume, the water is drawn down up to this point. So this sudden drawdown in water will unstable the dam. So upstream surface may get damaged like this. It may get damaged like this because of the sudden drawdown of water. So that should be ensured while the design is going on. Okay. Now the last important points are, whenever you are constructing a dam, we need to check what is the shear strength of the dam foundation as well as foundation material. Right? So if you know these 2 points, what is the shear strength induced in the foundation, which should be lesser than the shear strength in the material of the foundation. Based on these 2 shear strength differences only, we can ensure the suitable factor of safety.